MBA Forex, CBEX, Loom, Ultimate Cycler. What do they all have in common?
If I go to Libya to work, the small money I bring to Libya, I join now.
Why should you invest your money in something that is not realistic? Please be reasonable enough.
All of these are Ponzi schemes that came promising a huge amount of money, promising better future to Nigerians, but they all scammed millions of people. It's been estimated that Nigerians have lost a total of 4.8 trillion naira in 9 years. 4.8 trillion. We are first going to understand, okay, what is it about we Nigerians that makes it easy for all of these people to just come up with different schemes, Ponzi and all of these things, scam us and get away. A new one comes up, they scam us, they get away. When does it end? How do we ensure it ends? That's what this episode is about, because at the end of the day, you're going to know or you're going to observe that when you keep falling prey to these things, it affects your mental health. And you will still use somebody like me. So let us discuss the prevention of these things now. Now, we've had cases whereby people, would go and borrow money and put into this. In MBA, I remember when, not MBA, MMM. When MMM came out, I wanted to. The only reason I didn't do MMM was because I didn't have money. Thank God I was broke. I didn't have money. And so I knew this guy in camp, right? Back now doing NYC. I think that was towards the end of November 2016, November, December. And I think that was just right about the time it crashed. And so the guy went and carried all his money, put in MMM. So what happens is that as he gets his 30%, he will carry everything and put back, And so the day MMM crashed, I can remember vividly, the guy collapsed. Why? The guy was like, all my money is gone. Like he looked hopeless. He looked like somebody had stolen all of his life's efforts from him, right? And so we have millions of Nigerians who have, had one experience or the other, lost money here and there, okay? But now let us explore the reason why are people being scammed every single time. Why are Nigerians being scammed? Why is it that it's thriving? Well, number one reason is simple. The unemployment and poverty rate in Nigeria is so high. And I'll explain what that means. Think about the fact that just 10 years ago, $1 to naira was about 190, 170, 190 something naira. Right now, $1 to naira is about 1,600 naira. That's times 10. So this means that if you needed 100K to survive, in 2015, you need like 1 million to survive, right? Let's give an example. So things have become more expensive by like times 10. I remember back in 2015, you could get a good decent car for 8 million. But right now, if you have 3 million, you are not ready. Like you've not even started. One reason why people are falling prey of this is because of unemployment, because people are genuinely suffering. One reason why MMM was able to thrive in 2016 is because MMM, so we noticed that was the beginning of the inflation, and life was getting hard. I remember back then I was in the university towards that 2016 period, and even the pocket money my mother was giving me had to drop. Okay, life was becoming increasingly hard. My school fees went from about 900,000 to about 2-point-something million. So life was hard. And so what that now meant was that MMM saw, a reason, or MMM saw, a space where they could jump into prey on people. And they presented it as though, you're giving your money to somebody's receiving your money. I think there's a way they explained it, that when you give, it didn't make sense to me, but when you give like 1 million, you're giving somebody else, and then somebody else will give you money. There's a way they explained it that made it look like we are here to care for you, and we're trying to care for you by ensuring community building and things like that. But they were all lies. They were lies that were designed to scam and cheat people. And so people are being deceived because the economy is hard and all of those things. Right now, there isn't a one-size-fits-all as to why people get scammed, because in a population of over 200 million people, your people are going to have different motives, but this is just one of the motives that could account for certain amounts of people. That's one aspect. Second is this. While some people are genuinely struggling and looking for a way out, right? Some people are just greedy. You people are greedy. Because tell me why CBEX would promise you 100% in 1 month and you believe it. Why? There is no money-making scheme that can give you 100% in 30 days. What can you possibly think about it? Somebody gives you ₦1 million or 5 million naira. What business can you possibly invest in that gives you 100 return in 30 days? Now, if you as an entrepreneur cannot think of a business or can think of very few businesses that you can invest in that gives you 100% return in 30 days, then how can you as an investor investing into a business that is not yours earn that level of yield in 30 days? So a lot of times, some people are just greedy. Some people, just want to find a loophole, just jump on something. Some people have the idea that, okay, maybe I'm looking for the fastest and easiest way to make money. So somebody brings a business opportunity to you. The person tells you that this is like 20%, 30% per annum, which is what most money markets do. They bring like 15% per annum, 20% per annum, right? Steady increase, steady growth. But you say, this one is too small. This one is too, is not big enough. So what do you now do? You would now go and look for the one that is promising you 100%, 200% Loom. I think Loom said if you should bring a certain amount of people and you get paid 8 times your capital. 8 times. 8, and people did it. So what does that say? Not just to your level of greed, but to your level of intelligence. Now, to be honest, some people are desperate, and I can understand. But this is where we must sit down and assess our intent. Are you just being desperate or being greedy, or a mixture of both? Which is pretty much a disaster. So for some people, it's not really about greed, trying to get the money now. For that's like quick money. For some people, it's not really about poverty. It's just FOMO, fear of missing out. Hey, this 100,000 I have, I can make it 200,000. I don't want to miss this opportunity. Think that my guys are cashing out. Which is where you need to learn how to have a mind of your own. Stop thinking like a sheep. You're always following. When will you create the path that other people will follow? You have to think in that direction. Stop being the kind of person that, today you're trying to understand what other people are doing, you go here, tomorrow you go here. And generally speaking, it's just not a good, it's not just a good perception for people to have of you. Because that means that people will not respect you if you're always driven by FOMO. At the end of the day, people respect those that pave the way, not those that follow the way. I'm not saying don't be someone that follows, but have the mind to independently criticize something and say, no, this is not good for me. And even though every other person is going that way, as long as you are sure, go the other way. Now, for some people, they just saw their pastor doing it and decided to do. I remember when Loom came out. The church I was going to back then, almost all the church members advertised Loom to me. They say, in fact, to now even validate it, they said even this person's wife is doing it, pastor's wife is doing it. So sometimes some of these investment schemes will try and attract leaders across different spheres. It could be in the celebrity world, that is in the media world, your celebrities. It could be in the religious world. Why? Because they know that this thing is like a pyramid. If they can get the person at the top, then they can get every other person that follows that person. So you have to be careful. For some people, the reason why they get scammed is simply because of their church, prosperity gospel. If your church is one that promotes prosperity gospel, you can easily get scammed. And I'll explain to you. If every week you're always thinking about miracle money, week in, week out, it is very easy for the devil to come and disguise to you and say, what if this is that miracle money? And so guess what? Because of the fact that you're always expecting miracle money, your discernment is now impeded. You can't discern. You can't use your brain anymore because you're thinking, because they will tell you that the Lord will always break the protocols for you this week. You now say, okay, maybe this is the protocol that God wants to break for me this week. You have to be able to think. Understand the patterns that these people use and learn how to break free from it. so that you can break free from their control. How can you be a human being out of the things now, of course, MMM, MBA Forex, CBEX, Loom, Ultimate Cycler? Out of those 5, you're falling for like 3 or 4. They have 80% success rate in scamming you. Just some very important statistics, just to let you understand how much these people are cashing out. So MMM in 2016 offered 30% interest rate per month. Okay, now MMM came under the guise that they were providing help and providing you help and you getting to help other people during a time when inflation just began to hit Nigeria. So people now saw these guys as saviors. So they packaged themselves as saviors so that they could scam over 18 billion naira from 3 million Nigerians. Now we have about 200 million Nigerians in population. This means that they were able to convince more than 1% of the population. Now, we had another one called Twinkers. I think Twinkers was in 2017, and Twinkers was 100% return in few days. You hear that somebody says you should bring 100% in few days, and you brought your money. Come on. Don't get me wrong. I have been scammed before. I have, also had my own share. In fact, I have been scammed so much that I said I'm tired of Nigerians. Let me go and look for Indians. And I went and deal with Indians and Pakistans. Imagine being scammed by Nigerians so much that you weren't going to foreigners to scam you. So I've been a victim of this. In fact, that MBA Forex, when I knew that there was trouble, was when a friend of mine told me that she went to a function and she saw the CEO of MBA Forex, the owner, spraying dollars, and people were jumping to counter and say, spraying dollars. Person will get business, they spray dollars. How do I know it's not my money that you're spraying like that? And I think about 2 months later, it crashed. From 2018 when MBA Forex came, it was no longer about bring to people because it was clear that that's a scam. So they repackaged. They say, okay, we are doing Forex. Then TMAC came that their own was transport and agriculture. Bring your money, we'll give you about 20% interest and things like that. And people did. Thousands of investors lost their monies. Now, knowing that AI is now the in-trend thing, in 2018 it was Forex. Now it is AI. So they just have to bring a couple of nice sounding words together, trendy words, keywords, and you are now sold on it. We are just ensuring that we are using AI to, we are using some of the smartest AI to, invest in crypto, just to build the market and things like that, and you are already sold. Because you've heard AI, GPT, cannot feel me. There is usually a trend. What are the patterns that we can recognize? Number one, they are giving high returns, like unreasonably high returns, something that you cannot explain. Something that even if your brother is starting a business and he wants you to invest, he's not going to be willing to give you that level of high returns. Except if you're investing in a company, you're buying stocks, and for some reason, the stock prices just went up. Except that. Number two, they don't really have a clear, defined business model. They're just telling you that they're just talking. And then do not ask what are they doing. Now say, they are putting our money in AI. Everything is based off what they've told you. You cannot trace them under any regulation, under any regulatory body. You cannot see them in the stock exchange market. So you don't even know. There is no accountability. There is no visibility into how your money is being used. Or they are telling you that bring two people that will bring two people that will bring two people. Maybe that one has even casted, but some people still do that. That the more people you bring, the higher your chances of earning. Watch out. Sometimes they are giving you a business model, right, that you cannot even explain. This is just what they are telling you. It doesn't make any sense in your head. Watch out. Now, there was this one, I can't remember the name, whereby they said something along the lines that they could not pay people on a certain day because the person that had to process funds died. And I'm like, what? Imagine a bank is telling that they cannot give you your money because your account manager is dead or something. It doesn't make any sense. There should be a process or a structure that prevents some of these very unprofessional excuses. How do you ensure that you don't get scammed? Number one, that is, how do you ensure you are not always falling prey? Number one, curb your greed. Learn to curb your greed. Learn it. Stop wanting to make millions of naira profit in under a couple of weeks to months. Because as long as you're a greedy person, think about it like a dog. A dog is greedy. dogs always want to eat. They always want to eat. They can't say no. So in order for you to lure a dog or even a chicken, all you have to do is just keep dropping it will keep following you. So learn to curb your greed. If not, it's going to be very easy to trick you. Another one is learn to be very honest. This is very hard, right? Because the country is hard once again. But you have to understand that desperation doesn't help you in this context. Now, Nigeria is one of the poorest countries in the world in the sense that Nigeria is a third world country. However, Nigeria is one of the top countries whereby almost of these gambling companies, these betting companies make the most money off people. Why? Because of poverty and desperation. So it seems as though the places where it is easiest to exploit people are the places whereby people are most desperate. And while we can sympathize and say, yes, it is hard, but at some point, you have to break the cycle where you're being exploited. Because you being desperate does not help matters that you're now further exploited of the little that you have. So you have to learn to watch your desperation. You have to learn it. Because desperation at the end of the day would always impede discernment. This means that when you're desperate, you can't think, you can't ascertain, you can't listen to that inner voice. So you have to watch out for that. You have to also get rid of the get rich quick scheme. Stop putting yourself under unnecessary pressure to make money now. Stop it. Because that is why you will see a legit business that's promising you 15%, 10%, and you don't want to listen to that. You're instead going for the one that's looking for 100%. Then please learn how to stop jumping on the bandwagon. Everywhere you want to jump. You want to jump here, you want to jump there. Calm down, be calming down. Now what this means is you have to kill your FOMO, your fear of missing out. It's okay to miss out on some things. There was one that, I learned about towards the end of last year. I knew it was a scam, but someone was telling me that if you can just put your money, just put it down, you can withdraw. I held myself, I said, no. Now the thing has crashed. They are telling people to come and add money if they want to remove their money. That doesn't even make sense. You should add money if you want to remove your money. Stop jumping on the bandwagon. And the last thing is, look for long-term, more rewarding opportunities. Learn to build sustainable structures, like learn a skill and learn to leverage on your skill. We are living in the information age, right? In the age whereby it's no longer about what is on your certificate, but what you can do. Learn a skill in IT. Learn a skill in, it doesn't have to be IT, it can be all of these high in demand jobs like video editing and all of those things. I have a friend that is a video editor. He does really well for himself. He has never had to submit his resume and say, please take my CV before. Learn a high value skill and in-demand skill and learn to leverage on it. And I hope that with these few tips of mine, I'll be able to convince you and not confuse you. Once more, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps more than you know. All right. And I can't wait to see you next week. See you.